Today, our whole intention is we're going to run you through what Stoogle is. We started this in our first year at UCT, so that was 4 and a bit years ago. And we both just graduated last year. We did business science finance degrees, and we developed Stoogle and Agora to a point where we could make enough money from it to live straight out of Varsity. So we didn't have to get jobs and get reliant on that paycheck. Today we're just going to run you through exactly what we did, what Stoogle is, and then we're going to give you some practical advice and some pointers on how to actually go about doing that yourself. Because so many people have got ideas, but no one's actually going and making a business out of it, and that's what this whole thing is about. So first of all, who are we, and what are we doing? So I'll start with myself. My name is Jason Basel. I have traveled around the world. I lived in 16 houses. I went to 12 schools, as you heard. I've started 9 different businesses during my tenure at UCT, some of which failed spectacularly, some of which were immense successes, but I decided they were too much work. You might remember Varsity Vibes. Stoogle is the rebranded version of Varsity Vibes. We did fridge storage. We did all sorts of things. So now that my tenure at UCT is finished, and I'm incredibly glad that it is so, I'm working on Stoogle and Agora full-time, and a couple of other little things sort of merged with those two companies. I'm
Ben Rath. I also studied, same thing as Jay, I studied actuarial science for the first year, and battled, hated it. Studying just wasn't for me. I ended up failing one of the actuarial science courses, really didn't like it, moved to business science, tried to start a company called Apex Tutors, which you'll see later. We are doing tutoring as part of Stoogle as well. And then I joined up with Jason, and we've been working on Stoogle for quite a while with a number of other people, and we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot of expansion with interns. We're bringing a whole lot of employees on board, and yeah, it's really been a learning experience. I mean, the Soak is one hell of a business mind, so he's taught me a hell of a lot. But yeah, I've done a lot of sort of musical things, like Gina said. I've played in front of a lot of audiences and stuff, but it really wasn't my calling, and working for Alan Gray certainly wasn't either. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, so just quickly, the Stoogle story, how we started. I was 14 years old. I skipped a couple of grades in school, so by the time I was in grade 10, I was a bit younger, but I decided I wanted to start something. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was about 12 years old. And I started something called Quality Prose, qualityprose.weebly.com. I didn't even have enough money to afford to buy the domain, so I had to have the host's name, Weebly, in the domain, qualityprose.weebly.com. And I ended up making enough money out of advertising. I used Google AdSense, and I ended up making enough money out of the domain. I'm talking 80 Rand here, to go and actually buy the domain. And so that's when my interest in the tech world kind of started, at 14. And so after that, came to UCT from Durban, went into Leo Marquardt, made a couple of mates, and we decided, look, let's take this tech thing to the next level. Let's give it a shot. So first year students in a little Leo Marquardt dorm, by the end of the year, we had like 5 guys crowding around. I don't know if you've ever been in Leo Marquardt, it's tiny. We had like 5 guys crowding around, sitting on a bed with laptops, working on this little tech startup. And it was a cool little vibe. We had absolutely no idea what we were doing, but we were doing it anyways. And we called it Varsity Vibe. And eventually we rebranded or changed the name to Varsity Vibes. It was actually a big deal at the time. So my tenure at UCT was mostly the Varsity Vibes era. And Varsity Vibes was primarily supposed to be an information tool for high school students about university degrees, how to finance your studies, that sort of thing. That was the core concept. And so we worked on that. We got some traction. We got some clients. The website was terrible, but we did our best with what we knew. We didn't know how to code, any of us. Yeah, we just used these drag and drop website builders and gave it a shot. But the point is that we made something happen. We had clients. We didn't develop the product to a point where it was amazing and then get clients. We got clients the whole way through. So that was the Varsity Vibes era. Halfway through my 4th year at UCT, we decided that we were going to rebrand Varsity Vibes. We didn't think the name was fitting. And we called it Stoogle, Stoogle, Stoogle.co.za. And we just thought the brand was more fitting. It's sort of playing on the idea of student Google. Yeah, so we rebranded and we decided this is no longer a college startup. We're actually going to start a business. And that was, it was actually the beginning of my fourth year, and we ended up doing the change halfway through. But we decided we were going to actually start a proper business. And we had registered companies in the past, but we registered a brand new company. We put together all the documentation, and we went for it. And this is 9 months later. So officially, Stoogle actually only launched on the 1st of Jan this year. So we're about 12 weeks in, but yeah, unofficially sort of 9 months. That's where we are right now. And then just one more point on growth, upsizing. So we finished at UCT, and we had a product, we had clients, we had tons of investors on our backs. We had all sorts of things, and we were kind of ready to do this full time. We didn't have to accept a job, and that really is a key factor. Don't think that by having ideas and starting a little college startup, you're going to be able to not accept that job offer when it comes in for 15 or 20 grand a month. You're going to have to accept it if you can't afford to pay your rent. So you have to develop your businesses to a point where you can actually survive with them. It's no, people kind of just overlook that. No, I'm starting a business. You're not starting a business unless you can work in it full time. So we managed to do that. And yeah, now we're growing, we're upsizing. That's why the 2-hour sleep thing is a nightmare right now. We're hiring like crazy. We just moved to our 3rd offices in like 2 months. So we're now in Hart Bay. It's just been an incredible learning curve, learning a lot, doing fun things, and just really living the dream, doing exactly what college students want to do. That's why you guys are here. And we're doing it, and it feels incredible. And we're still learning along the way, but it really is amazing. So Ben's just going to run you through all the different things that we're doing at Stoogle. It's now a lot bigger than the original concept, a lot bigger. So yeah, Ben's going to run you through that.
Okay, I'm going to briefly go through this. Obviously, you guys are going to have a look at the site, do your rounds on it. These are mostly all the products that are under wraps now and are sort of soon to be launched. We've got ComServe listings, we've got digs listings, we've got books listings, all your second-hand textbooks. You can sell them on one of our subdomains. We've got Stoogle Apply, which is a centralized application process for every university in the country. We've got tutors, which is going to be pretty much the Uber of tutoring, and we're really branching out into as many different things as we can. Then we've got Stoogle Stuff, which is a second-hand classifieds for clothes and whatever else. Stoogle Bursaries, which we launched about 2 weeks ago, and it's since then trebled our hits. And that's basically applications to bursaries, all the information about bursaries, and soon we're going to integrate a whole CV application process whereby you can just upload your CV once and just apply to as many bursaries as you want. Obviously, on the back end of things, companies like Discovery will filter out people that are getting results sort of below par. But the system works completely independently of us. There's no logistics involved. That's a lot of what you got to do with the tech sites. You've got to try create a middleman and move away from having to actually handle X, Y, Z. Okay, this needs to get there. Delivery, all that stuff. As much as there's a lot of money in that, on the tech side of things, we're trying to sort of steer away from that as best we can. Then on the Agora side of things, I'm going to briefly talk about. We've got Agora, which is the entrepreneurship, basically entrepreneurship events company. We are white labeling a whole bunch of products, accounting systems, project management systems that all help young entrepreneurs and businesses get started, get set up, learn about how to run things, basic things like how to run a MailChimp campaign, how to run a Facebook campaign and make the most money out of your Facebook and save money on Facebook. A lot of people end up paying a hell of a lot of money getting likes that are actually little people, sitting in, I don't know, in Kenya, just liking any page and not actually interacting. And that, according to Google, means a hell of a lot. We're running investment workshops, CV writing workshops, and that's all Agora stuff. So it's a different company, but it's there's a lot of lines with UCT Upstarts.
Okay, now what I want to talk to you about is the concept of painfully practical. So at Stoogle and at Agora, our internal motto is painfully practical. And I say painfully, and I stress that word because we're painfully practical. We don't like theory, we don't like any of that crap. It's all practical stuff. When you come to our workshops, we teach you how to use MailChimp. When you work at Stoogle, there's no fluff. It's not like we're going to teach you high-level stuff. You come in and you actually get stuff done. You do stuff. You write. You read. You engage with the problem actively. And that's kind of the key point. Ideas mean absolutely nothing. I can name 10 very successful entrepreneurs who will feel absolutely happy standing in this room and relaying to you their 10 best ideas that they haven't got around to doing yet. And the reason that they'd be okay with that is because no one in this room will actually go and do the ideas. You have to do them. You have to make it into a business. You have to get it off of paper or in your head or wherever the heck it is, and you have to make it into a business. You have to have clients. So that's really the key point. And if you want to pursue entrepreneurship as a career, you have to have a business, not an idea, and not a college startup either. So number one, entrepreneurs are not about ideas, we're about making ideas happen. And there's something that I tell all the employees at Stoogle, and it's if you're not reading, writing, or actively engaging with a problem, you are not working. And note, thinking doesn't count. People come into the office for 8, 10, 12, 16 hours a day, and they say, yes, I'm working so hard, I'm not getting any sleep, whatever it be, they want to raise. And I say to them, okay, how much of your day do you actually spend reading lines or writing something, or / typing, or actively engaging with the problem, talking to someone and trying to come up with a solution? And how much of your time is spent back, I'm tired, taking a quick breather, going to get a glass of water, thinking about something that you're going to write? You can spend, if you actually are writing, you'll get a proposal done in 30 minutes if you're writing the entire time. And if you're thinking, it's going to take you 2 hours. So of those 2 hours, you were only working for maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And that's a really important point. People think that they're working, they're not working. You've got to be actively doing something in order to be working. And key thing, we're going to do a little exercise on this now. Only do what makes the boat go faster, nothing else. So there was an Olympic team, I think it was Jamaica, I could be wrong, but an Olympic rowing team. And they were dead last in the rankings. The Olympics were 9 months away, and they were dead last. They had a new coach, and the coach came in and he said to them, guys, we're dead last, there's nothing we can do about it, but what we are going to do is we're going to do only things that make the boat go faster. Does brushing your teeth make the boat go faster? No, then we don't brush our teeth. And he was that extreme. He says, everything we do makes the boat go faster. If he was here, he'd probably be doing this with a mic, so you'd do some bicep curls while you're speaking. Literally everything, painfully, just incredibly focused on making that boat go faster. And that's what you have to do with your business. If you have an idea, only do things that make the boat go faster. Will writing that employee contract for someone that you might hire in the future, or an extensive business plan, will that make the boat go faster? I highly doubt it. Will maybe writing 3 words of what your business plan is on a napkin, will that make the boat go faster? Maybe, because it'll take you 30 seconds and you can move on to something else. So make the boat go faster. So I want to stop right now, turn to someone, 2 or 3 people, and I want you to just figure out 3 things that you are not doing that you should do in order to make the boat go faster, and 3 things that you are doing that you should stop doing to make the boat go faster. It could be anything from you spending too much time on emails, to you must stop doing email, to I must stop writing up plans and talking to people and networking, as opposed to actually going out and phoning people, cold calling clients, whatever it be. So can you just I'm going to give you literally 2 minutes, and just try and figure out things, so that is the most important thing. I just want to get some feedback. So just give me one thing that you thought would make the boat go faster that you must do or must stop doing.
I think our team needs to stop dissecting every single idea like really intensely. Yeah.
Anyone else? Any other ideas, things that you do to make the boat go faster? What can you do? Yeah.
One thing that you mentioned, like about your friends and your little Leo Marquardt room and all that, and the fact that none of you knew how to code or whatever, that kind of thing. I think the problem with my team is because we lack the knowledge that we need to achieve our idea, we feel that we need to recruit a whole lot of more people and get a whole lot of more people involved when they really shouldn't be. So I think that's a problem that we need to get rid of.
Cool, guys. So yeah, we're going to quickly run through some pieces of advice, just some things that we've sort of learned, and we want to get your feedback on them as we go. So can we change the slide?
All right, so the first one is MVP. That's all you need. So I'm going to start by an example. We had a product a little while ago that we thought we had to get absolutely perfect in order to launch it. So we waited a very long time. We didn't tell anyone about it, and then we launched it. And then it didn't quite pick up as well as we thought it would. And we waited for that perfect moment when we knew there'd be a season for it and everyone would just jump on board. But people don't jump on board that quickly with a new thing. So best get your minimum viable product together, whatever is actually your value. In the end, everything else is all fluff. Everything else is improving your product, scope creep, getting your product to be absolutely perfect. And I know that a lot of people and a lot of us are perfectionists. So us two really didn't want to launch that product until it was perfect. And it came to a point where we launched it and we actually missed the boat. And so when it comes to your minimum viable product, your MVP, get it done and then launch it. I go to someone and I sell the Stoogle vision. They just need to believe you. They need to see X. Okay, they've got the minimum viable product, the MVP, and they've got one hell of a vision. The improvements and the making it better and making this look a whole lot better and the logo look better and etc. is all stuff that everyone knows you'll get done once you have MVP. And then just the last bit is that it's better to be first than to be the best and then be the best. So it's exactly that. It's the fact that just be first, just get your product done, get that first mover advantage. If you don't have that first mover advantage, someone else has it, and then they've got the advantage. Then all they're doing is they're improving their product to be better than yours. Get that first mover, and then improve it so that you are the best. And guaranteed you will, because you'll have first mover, and you'll have the entire market. Everyone will be like, oh, well, they came up with it first. Yeah.
So I just want to find out, how many of you guys have ever had an actual experience of selling a vision to someone? It could be anything. It doesn't have to be with business. How many of you guys have ever had an experience, and can you tell us about that experience, of selling a vision as opposed to like a thing? If you have. Do you want to tell us about that?
I've been one of those people in entire high school that's always done that. So first one was a charity event, which I was in a group of 20 people, and I was the only one that got all the sponsors and got everything done and wrapped all the presents myself in order for it to occur. There wasn't anyone to help because everyone would put up their hands and say yes, but no one would actually do it. And my second one would be something stupid like the Valentine's Ball. My school is extremely small. There was no effort. There was no one to really do everything. And we were the first time that I managed to get sponsors, people come up, actually have more than a record number of people attending, because I was forcing on it so much and calling everyone, calling anyone to help. Had the principal against it, everything. And at the end, it was the biggest success we've had in over 10 years. So
yeah, the next thing is be a business, not a college startup. And we find that like a lot of guys, they have these ideas, they start a business, and they kind of feel that it's like a college startup, it's a project, and they get everyone on board. They say anyone who's interested, they're interested in talking to them, they show some energy, they climb on board, they give them shares, they say, come, let's just do this together. And it just doesn't work like that. And like the piece of advice is get serious about doing business. I mean, I don't know, raise your hands. How many of you guys feel that in your groups, when you're starting your business, how many of you guys feel that you actually, that you get together, you sit around a table and you actually do business, as opposed to talking about your idea and trying to get more people involved and thinking of networks and who you can bring on board to get your thing. I mean, how many of you guys actually feel that you're serious about doing business? Okay, so yeah, a couple of guys. Yeah, we really find that you got to get serious about business if you want to make it work. Money is nothing and everything. This is something else. Like people come to me all the time and they're asking like, we need venture capital to get our idea going. We need capital. We can't just go ahead and do this. And like, I mean, if you speak to any entrepreneur who's gone ahead and done it, they'll tell you that like that's not true. Like, it sounds a bit brash here, but it says if you think you need venture capital, you're either wrong or your idea is bad. And that's not necessarily that your idea is bad, but it's just a case of you're not thinking in the right places. We started quality pros with 0, and we ended up using Google AdSense to make the first 80 Rand. We didn't even have the $80 to buy the domain. So, you would think that you would need servers and you need people and you need this. You really don't. You really can start businesses with nothing. You don't need loans, you don't need venture capital, nothing like this. And yeah, that's also another thing, is that people often focus on getting venture capital as opposed to actually getting clients and cash flow. And cash is king, so work on cash flow, not on capital. Forget about the venture capitalists. They'll come on board when you need them, as you need them. But we really think that you guys should really focus on getting cash flow. Get that first paying customer.
At one stage, we were very sort of gung-ho and all wrapped up in preparing proposals and trying to get venture capitalists on board. We were so concentrated on that we actually let our product slip. We stopped concentrating on our product. We stopped concentrating on is Tuesday a better product than Monday? Are we getting more hits to the site? Are we getting from A to B faster? And no, we weren't, because we were spending the whole day designing a proposal for someone who might or might not want to invest. Like Jay said, people want to jump onto a moving ship. So I guarantee you the same applies for investors. They will see you, they will find you. We still haven't made a single sales call, purely because of the fact that people are seeing us and being like, oh, well, I want to be a part of that. And that's what works. If you concentrate on your product, if you concentrate on, it goes the same way for people's personalities. People, if you have a negative personality or if you're working on the wrong things, people don't want to be a part of your life. But if you are consistently just like active and like, if you don't want to be on my boat, it's fine. You don't have to be, because I'm going to get from A to B whether you like it or not. And I guarantee you that people that see that happen are going to tag along, either tie a rope to the end of your boat or want to jump on. So yeah. In terms of time management, work 24/7. We've just gone through at least a week of literally working 18 to 19 hours a day. Last night, Jason, I think, got an hour 45 minutes sleep, and he's not looking too bad by the looks of it, about to pass out. But if this is your business, if you're going to take this on as your baby, if this is going to be all your time, it's got to be all your time. You've got to wake up in the morning, and you've got to, the first thing you think is oh, shit, I better get a tissue to write this idea down, or to write what I actually need to do today down. You can't be concentrating on everything else in your life. You can't be going to Tiger. You can't be going to Forries and spending your cash. That extra 100 Rand that you have, it goes towards buying a domain for that next month. It doesn't go towards your 4 beers at Forries, unfortunately. Nobody that doesn't know what weekend means should work on your team. It's part of our internship program. It's written on all our culture boards in our office. No one in our company knows what weekend means. We phone people on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Jason phones me on Sunday mornings at 2 o'clock in the morning, asking me where something is, or what to put in a proposal. This has got to be your lifeblood. This has got to be your every day, every single second. I get shouted at a lot from my girlfriend because I get home from the office at 11:30, and I pull out my laptop and I carry on working. And that's just the way, the way you have to work. You have to do it 24/7, 7 days a week. And weekends are actually your advantage. So if you're working on the weekends, then all the other companies that are trying to be your competitors probably aren't. And you're going to get ahead. And if you get that mindset right, if you actually think that that's the way it is, and that, like, sorry guys, I'm not going to come out this weekend, or I'm not going to go to Kirstenbosch to wash the flowers. But I'm actually going to sit at home and I'm going to graft. I'm going to graft, and I'm going to get from A to B. Today, I'm going to get X, Y, and Z done. Even if I don't get Z done, I'm going to make sure that on Sunday morning at 6 o'clock, I'm starting on that again. Because that's when we get ahead.
Okay, so yeah, guys, I know a lot of this might seem quite brash, but again, this is just our experience, and we're new to this we're relatively new to this whole game. It is our experience. There's some things that we know are true, and that's why I think we come across so, like, we know it's true. Like, please do this. We really want you guys to do well. Like, there's so much space in South Africa for success in entrepreneurship. Nothing has been done in South Africa. If you go to the States, sure, there's more money and there's more venture capital or whatever, but you don't need that stuff. You just need opportunities. And in South Africa, there's just so many opportunities. And I mean, I think you guys all know that already. So I'm actually going to skip this. But if you guys want to come and ask me some questions at the end about some of those things, hiring and firing, about the 10,000 hours thing, emails are so important. One quick story is I emailed on the 36th page of Google. So I was searching like such a champ. I found an email address for Richard Branson. And I emailed him, and 2 weeks later I got a response. And he booked a ticket to come and fly out to South Africa for one of our Agora events. Now, like, that should just show you that you can get so much done with email. If you just try, if you actually just do something, like look for the email address. If it's on the 36th page of Google, go to the 36th page of Google, and like just really get it done. So yeah, we just want to kind of encourage you guys to really do something real in entrepreneurship. Get serious about doing business. Just anything about Stoogle. If you guys are interested in internship opportunities, come and chat with us afterwards. Otherwise, we're going to be here answering questions.